You never really know how the wrong draft pick can impact the future of a franchise. Could we be talking about Packers legend Barry Sanders? Did you know the Raiders picked directly before 4 future Hall of Famers in the 2000s? And imagine a world where Jerry Rice never played in San Francisco. Let's take it back to 1985.
16th pick in the first round. Wide receiver, Jerry Rice in Mississippi Valley.
In case you didn't know, Rice was very nearly a Dallas Cowboy. Instead, Bill Walsh and the 49ers traded up and snagged him with the 16th overall pick. The rest is history. Rice won 3 Super Bowls, earned 10 All-Pro selections, and broke every receiving record in the book. But just a pick before, the Chiefs went with Ethan Horton. The running back was All-ACC at North Carolina, but lasted just 1 season in KC. Horton landed with the Raiders, where he moved to tight end. He actually made a Pro Bowl in 1991, but you can't put him in the same realm as Jerry Rice.
A pump and go. Irvin, touchdown! What a catch! Mike Irvin using that left hand to keep the defender away. Gets his right hand on it. What a catch.
Fast forward to 1988, Dallas found their star receiver at pick number 11. Michael Irvin was a 3-time champion and a 5-time Pro Bowler. After 12 seasons, he retired as the Cowboys' all-time receiving leader. At 10th overall, the Giants went with offensive lineman Eric Moore. While he did suit up for 6 seasons and start a Super Bowl with the G-Men, he was no playmaker. Giants fans saw firsthand how electrifying Irvin could be. A few picks earlier, the Raiders landed Tim Brown at number 6.
The Raiders have the ball, a pass coming up. Schrader throws long, downfield for Brown, and it is caught, and he is in for the touchdown. What a great play he made with 2 defensive backs downfield with him.
Brown was consistent for 16 years in the silver and black. The Hall of Famer amassed 9 Pro Bowls, 100 touchdowns, and nearly 15,000 receiving yards. But one slot before him, that would be Ricky Dixon. The Bengals used their 5th overall pick on the Oklahoma standout. Sadly, the defensive back would start just 32 games over 6 seasons. The top of the '89 draft was absolutely stacked. 4 of the first 5 picks are Hall of Famers, including this guy.
Barry Sanders off the pitch right, midfield, 45, breaks 40, Barry 35, spins free, 30, 25, middle of the field, 20, 15, 10, holy mackerel, down and in, touchdown! Lions, what a run by Barry Sanders. That one may be one of the all-time best.
The Lions spent their 3rd overall pick on a legend. Barry Sanders rushed for over 15,000 yards in just 10 seasons. He was a Pro Bowler every year he played and won MVP in 1997. But taken at number 2, that was Tony Mandarich. Touted as the best offensive line prospect ever, he decidedly wasn't. Mandarich played in just 6 seasons and is considered an all-time bust. The 1990 draft kept the legends coming. San Diego took Junior Seau at number 5 and were handsomely rewarded.
In motion right, Elway will roll right, wants to throw, steps up to throw, pump fakes, looks, gets
Intercepted!
It's intercepted by San Diego! Yes, they got the ball!
Junior Seau!
The linebacker made 12 straight Pro Bowls and earned 6 All-Pro nods, delivering San Diego its only AFC championship in the process. Tampa Bay picked just before that, but they went with the wrong linebacker. Keith McCants wound up playing defensive end for the Bucs, but failed to produce. McCants was cut by Tampa after 3 seasons, leading to backup stints with the Oilers and Cardinals. To add insult to injury, McCants was sandwiched between 2 future Hall of Famers, too, Seau and number 3 pick Cortez Kennedy, who spent his entire 11-year career in Seattle.
Leaf looking, stripped. Ball loose, picked up. On a return, it'll be Kennedy on the recovery, and Kennedy going all the way 36 yards for the touchdown.
The 300-pounder was a true do-it-all lineman. He won Defensive Player of the Year in 1992, totaling 14 sacks and retired with 3 All-Pro selections. Before Kennedy, the Jets took running back Blair Thomas. Despite the hype, Thomas couldn't stay healthy. He'd earned just 533 career carries over 6 seasons. Heading into the 1994 draft, many thought Marshall Faulk should be the first off the board. In hindsight, the Bengals would probably agree. They opted instead for defensive tackle Dan Wilkinson. He played 13 NFL seasons, but never came close to Faulk's impact.
Jack Pardee called him yesterday a home run hitter to leave the park any day. You said something, Beasley. You just said a whole lot. Inside the 40, inside the 30, and down to the 22-yard line.
Faulk was great for the Colts, but he became legendary in St. Louis, a Super Bowl title, league MVP, and 3 straight Offensive Player of the Year awards as one of history's best backs. Jumping to 1995 now, and the newly formed Jaguars picking 2nd overall. Their choice, Tony Baselli, whose time in Jacksonville was consistent and productive. The future Hall of Famer earned 3 straight All-Pro nods and 5 trips to the Pro Bowl. A pick earlier, since he whiffed on their top choice yet again, Kajana Carter was a tantalizing prospect, but injuries got the best of him. Carter showed flashes, scoring 16 touchdowns from 1996 to 1997, but he couldn't stay healthy, playing in just 28 more games. Tampa Bay had 2 first-rounders in 1995, and they nailed both of them. Warren Sapp went 12th overall and delivered a Hall of Fame career.
Shovel pass, picked off, touchdown Sapp.
A key piece to a ferocious defense, the Miami Hurricane amassed 96.5 career sacks. That all sounds great, unless you're the Vikings, who opted for Derek Alexander just 1 pick earlier. Alexander was a decent pass rusher, but he never made the leap, playing just 5 years. With the 28th pick in that draft, the Bucs landed another star defender. Derek Brooks was as versatile as they come. The linebacker tallied at least 100 tackles in all but 2 of his 14 seasons. In Super Bowl 37, he clinched Tampa's first title in style.
Gannon looking, throws up the middle. It's intercepted at the 40. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way. Touchdown Tampa Bay. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
But taken before Brooks was Mark Bruner. The Steelers' tight end played 14 seasons primarily as a blocker, but Pittsburgh would have loved to have had another Hall of Fame linebacker. In 1996, the Colts nabbed an all-world receiver with pick number 19.
Pump fake, and they go long for the first time for Harrison. Oh, my Lord! What a catch! One-handed, tuck it in, and he never used his left hand.
Starting in 1999, Marvin Harrison posted over 1,000 yards and double-digit scores in 8 straight seasons. He snagged 143 passes in 2002, shattering the single-season record. He won a ring in 2006 and is Indy's all-time leading receiver. Meanwhile, the Rams opted for Eddie Kennison with pick number 18. Kennison wasn't a household name, but he also didn't get to spend an entire career with Peyton Manning. Instead, he bounced around from one anemic offense to the next before a productive stretch in Kansas City at the end of his career. Just 8 picks later, the newly minted Ravens struck gold.
Good protection. Intercepted by Ray Lewis, and Lewis is on his way. He's going to go for a touchdown. Oh, my.
Ray Lewis was the NFL's best linebacker for over a decade. He spent his entire career in Baltimore, where he collected 7 All-Pro selections, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and 2 Super Bowl titles. Right before Lewis, the Eagles went with O-lineman Jermaine Mayberry. A Pro Bowler in 2002, Mayberry was a stable player on one of the best teams in the league for 9 years. But he was nowhere near the star Lewis turned into.
Here's Plummer. Into the flat, picked off, and here we go the other direction. This will be the Heisman Trophy winner, Charles Woodson. His 2nd interception in as many weeks, his 1st touchdown in the National Football League.
Taking a defensive back early in the first rounds is always a gamble, but the 4th overall pick in 1998 was a game breaker for 18 seasons. Charles Woodson won Defensive Player of the Year, a Super Bowl in Green Bay, and is tied for the most career defensive touchdowns. The same can't be said for the previous pick, Andre Wadsworth. While we all remember Ryan Leaf as the biggest bust from the 1998 draft, the Cardinals' 3rd overall pick was just as big a miss before knee injuries ended his career. Wadsworth lasted just 3 years in the NFL.
And he is throwing it back to Cunningham, the old flea picker, and open is Randy Moss, and in the end zone is a Minnesota touchdown.
Randy Moss is arguably the most terrifying receiver of all time, and he wasn't even drafted in the top 20. Selected 21st overall by the Vikings in the same '98 draft, Moss dominated the competition instantly and retired 4th all-time in receiving yards. Taken by Detroit just a pick before, Terry Fair dazzled as a kick returner his rookie season, but it was all downhill from there as the cornerback was released after 4 years with the Lions.
Here's the handoff to James on the sweep right. And he eludes a tackle. Still running. Brock Marion kind of gave up on the play. That is a touchdown.
Edgerrin James is as complete a running back as we've seen coming to this league in quite some time.
In 1999, the Colts plucked Edgerrin James 4th overall. Edge was an immediate success, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. James was a workhorse, playing 7 seasons in Indy before leaving as the team's all-time leading rusher. And the team that missed out on yet another first-round stud, yeah, it's the Bengals again. Their 3rd overall pick was an absolute bust. Quarterback Akili Smith would start just 17 games and throw 5 total touchdowns in Cincy. The Ravens were at it again in 2002. This time it was their 24th pick that went on to stardom.
Cobb throws, end zone intercepted. Ed Reed's got it. 10-yard line coming back. He gets by Cobb at the 30-yard line. Sheds a tackle in midfield. Interception return for a touchdown listed at 107 yards is a new NFL record.
Few defensive players had a nose for the ball like Ed Reed. Fumbles, picks, blocked kicks, it didn't matter. The Hall of Famer ranks 7th all-time in career interceptions. Napoleon Harris did much less for the Raiders, although he did start in a Super Bowl his rookie year. The 23rd overall pick was shipped off after just 3 seasons in the silver and black, but amassed nearly 500 tackles in his 7-year career. The expansion Texans got the top pick in 2002. They should have gone with Julius Peppers.
Back to throw, McMahon out of the shotgun, avoids 1 sack. Peppers got him again, and there's a fumble. The ball loose at about the 20-yard line. Oh, Julius Peppers pounded McMahon.
The number 2 pick in 2002 was an instant hit in Carolina, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Peppers racked up 52 forced fumbles, 160 sacks, and 9 Pro Bowl nods for 3 different teams. Instead, Houston opted for David Carr. It wasn't that Carr lacked skill, he mostly lacked protection.
Rush is coming. Carr thrown down once again.
More pressure, and Carr takes a seat again at the 9. Carr, Lieber drops him.
Carr absorbed a record 76 sacks his rookie year and never got the time he needed to settle into the pocket or the NFL. The Fresno State product managed just 5 full seasons as a starter. Luckily, the Texans were back in the saddle in 2003, grabbing Andre Johnson 3rd overall. If there's an all-time Texans moment, Johnson was probably involved. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler and holds every major franchise receiving record. The same can't be said for Charles Rogers, a tantalizing prospect taken just before Andre. Rogers was oozing with talent, but he wasn't the right fit for a Lions team in constant flux. He played just 15 games over 3 seasons. 14 picks later, the Steelers found a legend in Troy Polamalu.
Here's Collins back to pass again. Going deep downfield into traffic, and what an interception, one-handed by Troy Polamalu.
Wow.
I'll say.
The Hall of Famer was one of the most iconic players of the decade, flying from sideline to sideline. Number 43 was the Defensive Player of the Year in 2010 and collected 2 Lombardis in 12 seasons with the Steelers. Now, imagine a safety duo of Polamalu and Brian Dawkins, but instead, the Eagles went with pass rusher Jerome McDougal. The Miami product had the talent, but he was almost always injured. McDougal never started a game in Philly, recording 3 career sacks as a backup. So that brings us to 2004, and this first round was loaded. Arizona made a franchise-defining pick at number 3, grabbing Pitt receiver Larry Fitzgerald.
Warner has 5. Fitzgerald into Steeler territory. 30, 20, 10. Arizona has the lead.
Highlighted by the 2008 season that brought the Cardinals inches away from a Super Bowl title, Larry's career was legendary. Over his 17 years in Arizona, Fitz broke every major team receiving record and has the second most yards in NFL history. Then there's Robert Gallery. The number 2 pick in 2004 was a disappointment compared to Fitzgerald. Gallery was touted as a generational blocker, but the Raiders quickly learned otherwise. The Iowa product was serviceable for 8 seasons, but never made the impact of a number 2 pick. If we're talking impact, the Steelers sure found their guy. 9 picks later, Ben Roethlisberger went off the board, and in less than 2 years, he was a Super Bowl champ. 3 years after that, he outdueled Fitzgerald's Cardinals for another title.
Roethlisberger has time, throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes. Unbelievable! Incredible!
Big Ben's backyard style made him a lethal playmaker. Could he have fared better than David Carr with Houston's O-line? We'll never know because the Texans took corner Dante Robinson at number 10. He was solid but never lived up to top 10 potential. Robinson stuck around for a decade, but he failed to make a Pro Bowl. In 2005, the Cowboys landed a beast with their 11th overall pick.
Guess who? DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware will go down as one of the best defensive players in Cowboys history. He earned 4 All-Pro nods and is the team's all-time sack leader. Ware played 12 NFL seasons, winning a title in Denver. The top 15 was oozing with future stars, but the Lions' 10th overall pick, Mike Williams, wasn't one of them. After missing a year of college, the USC wideout was shockingly selected by Detroit, their 3rd straight receiver taken in the top 10. Williams lasted just 2 years with the Lions and later found a glimmer of production in Seattle. But the biggest story of the 2005 draft was Aaron Rodgers. Initially believed to be the top pick, Rodgers fell all the way to 24, and the rest is history.
Rodgers in trouble. It's going to get there. He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is caught for the win. A game ender for the Packers.
The 4-time MVP has been nearly flawless in his 14 years as Green Bay's starter, and he shows no signs of slowing down. Rodgers boasts the best touchdown-to-interception ratio of all time and led the Packers to a Super Bowl title in 2010. Who was picked before him? The answer to that trivia question is Fabian Washington. The Nebraska corner played 3 mediocre seasons in Oakland and was out of the league by 2011. In 2007, Detroit finally landed its premier receiver, taking Calvin Johnson 2nd overall.
Matthew rolls the pocket to the right, pumps, now comes back to the left, looking deep, throw into the end zone, wants Calvin, well covered, he goes up, he makes the catch, are you kidding me? Oh, Megatron, you did it again!
Megatron earned 3 straight All-Pro nods and set a then single-season receiving record in 2012. The Hall of Famer is considered one of the most dominant players in NFL history. But the top overall pick that year, it was Jamarcus Russell. Despite the hype, Russell and the Raiders clashed immediately. After a lengthy holdout his rookie season, his career was over before it started. Russell won 7 of 25 career starts and is considered an all-time draft bust. Bear with us, Raider Nation, we need to recap. In the span of 5 years, Oakland somehow made the pick directly before Ed Reed, Larry Fitzgerald, Aaron Rodgers, and Calvin Johnson. Ouch! There was plenty of superstar talent left on the board in 2007, like 11th overall pick Patrick Willis. He was arguably the best middle linebacker in the league throughout his 8-year career.
Hasselbeck fires, it bounces off McMullen and is intercepted by Patrick Willis. Willis makes a move on Hasselbeck. 1 man to beat. Patrick Willis takes it all the way for a touchdown. 86 yards on the return.
At pick number 10, the Texans gambled on 19-year-old defensive tackle Amobi Okoye. The Louisville prospect is still the youngest player ever to be drafted. Okoye showed promise, but a rare brain condition stunted his career. He played just 6 NFL seasons. From 2007 to 2017, you did not ever want to visit Revis Island.
Intercepted by Revis.
And Revis another turnover.
Intercepted in the end zone by Darrelle Revis. Revis is there and picked it off. Revis Island against Randy Moss, and he came through.
The Jets drafted a bona fide shutdown corner with the 14th pick in 2007. At his peak, Darrelle Revis was regarded as the best corner in the league. He made All-Pro 4 times and is a surefire Hall of Famer. Adam Carricker's career, on the other hand, was not exactly what the Rams were hoping for. The big man started all 16 games as a rookie, but injuries took a toll. He was traded to Washington in 2010, where he finished his career with 9 total sacks. The 2011 draft is one of the best in recent memory, but there were some real duds hidden in the first round. The Jags know all about that. The 10th overall pick, Blaine Gabbert, eventually found a home as Tom Brady's backup in Tampa, but he went just 5-22 during his 3 seasons as a starter in Jacksonville. To make matters worse, the next pick was this guy.
Here they come again. Oh my goodness, this is J.J. Watt.
So not only did the Jaguars miss on their franchise QB, the following pick tormented them for the next decade. J.J. Watt was Defensive Player of the Year 3 times in his first 5 seasons. When healthy, he's been the league's best defender.
To be part of a great team, here's Hilton blitzing off the slot again. Passer Hopkins, oh my goodness. Did he catch that? Did he catch that? That's the touchdown catch of the year if that's good. That's unbelievable. Wow. That's sick.
In 2013, the Texans found another star pick at 27. DeAndre Hopkins was a generational talent in Houston. He earned 3 All-Pros and produced an insane highlight reel of catches. And imagine if he had had Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. Instead, the Pack took Dayton Jones at number 26. The D lineman never really developed into a first-round talent and left Green Bay after 4 years. It's wild to think that 9 teams passed on Patrick Mahomes, but it happened, and when the Chiefs grabbed him at number 10, they got something special.
Here comes Von Miller. Oh, how did he pull that off?
Joe, are you kidding me?
Wow, left-handed.
I've seen it all now, Joe.
Mahomes has led the Chiefs to the conference championship game in each of his 4 years as a starter. He won NFL MVP in 2018 and followed that up with a Lombardi trophy the next year. And of course, it was the Bengals who were left second-guessing. They opted for speedster John Ross just a pick earlier. Ross never caught more than 30 passes in any of his 4 seasons in Cincy. 21 picks later, Pittsburgh found a future sack champion.
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history.
Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record, 22.5 sacks.
Like his brother, TJ Watt turned into a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. The younger Wisconsin stud already has 3 All-Pro nods, and he's just getting started. Watt tied the single-season sack record in 2021, winning NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Meanwhile, the Browns are still waiting on David Njoku. He's shown flashes here and there, but the 28th pick has yet to make a major impact through his first 5 seasons.
Down by 1, pressure coming, Cousins decked, throws it up for Jefferson. He's got it! And he is in! Touchdown, Minnesota!
Finally, there's Justin Jefferson, the 22nd pick in 2020. He came flying out of the gates with 1,400 yards as a rookie. Jefferson followed that up with a 1,600-yard season in 2021. The sky seems to be the limit. 21st overall pick, Jalen Reagor, has had a much bumpier start. He's battled injuries and untimely drops as he continues to find his footing in Philly. Well, there you have it. As we gear up for another unpredictable draft, just remember that you'll never know where talent hides and which teams will come oh so close.